Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of our weekly CONCACAF Transfer Watch series we got going on. Today we got Johnny Cardoso going to United, Elias Montiel going to a number of clubs potentially that are looking into him, and then Richy Ledezma to Mexico for Chivas. I'll put timestamps in the bottom if you want to listen to any particular one of those, and you can skip ahead. But we're going to start with Elias Montiel, who, the 19-year-old, one of the best wonder kids in the world, and definitely the best wonder kid in Mexico, in my humble opinion, 19 years old. He's looking at going to a bunch of different places in the world. That includes the likes of Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, Roma, Galatasaray, Ajax, America, and Cruz Azul, amongst, I'm sure, other clubs. But those are just the clubs we know are looking at him right now. Andres, if you had to pick one, though, Elias Montiel, moving from Pachuca and Liga MX, does he stay in Mexico, stays with Pachuca, America, Cruz Azul? Does he go to Europe, playing for Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid? As the Mexico fan here, how do you feel about this? The 19-year-old wonder kid, what is his next step?
Do you want me to have like my hopes and dreams, or do you want me to be realistic with this one?
Why not give us both?
My hopes and dreams is Europe, of course. We've been pushing on this channel for a very long time for a lot of these Mexican players to, get out there, leave Mexico, go out there, get that opportunity. They work so hard for it. Go play in Europe. I know it's probably very intimidating to leave your home country, but yeah, you're only going to get better when you're facing the best of the best. And that is in Europe. So at the end of the day, like, I'd want him to go to Atletico Madrid. That'd be amazing. Galatasaray would also be amazing. Honestly, any of those clubs you mentioned would be amazing for him and his development. Would he be in the squad? Probably not. But development-wise, he's only 19. The kid's only 19. You can't harp him for anything. I think he has areas to improve on based on what I've seen of him via highlight tapes and stuff. But he's 19 years old. I'm not going to harp on the kid. You know what I mean? That's not very what's the word? Help me out. It's not very productive. There we go. Productive to harp on that kid, especially at the age of 19, and he's balling. He's not afraid of a tackle, I can tell you that, based on what I've seen. He's not afraid of putting in a good challenge. But realistically, will he move out of Mexico? That's the question, and I don't see it. So I think he'll probably go to America. I would be shocked. I know.
And America too, like I would imagine, so they might be in the Club World Cup this year. They have a playoff match against LAFC to determine whether or not they will be. I've heard rumors of them wanting to bring in other Liga MX stars that are not already on the team and somewhat form a Liga MX super team on loan. I would not be surprised if Elias Montiel is one of those players they're trying to get in on loan. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing in the world. He's 19. I wouldn't mind him staying around for another year or two, maybe, and then moving over there. But if you have the opportunity now, you might as well just go, man. And the one country that I think he should really go to, that a lot of Mexican players go to and develop well, is the Netherlands. I think Ajax would be a fantastic place to go to. Now, Ajax isn't they're in some tough times right now. But I think as a result, Elias Montiel can get a lot of good game time with them for the first team, if not, the reserves or U21 teams or whatever. I would like that more than a La Liga team or a Roma or Galatasaray right now. I like Mexican players going to La Liga. Of course, it makes sense. A lot of Mexican players have made their careers over there. You talk about Hector Herrera, you talk about Carlos Vela, Chicharito, and to some extent, a lot of these players do well over there. But that's not from the beginning of their careers. That's a later thing. I want him to focus solely on going to somewhere where developing his skills would be good. That's the only thing. You're not going to win titles. You're not going to get a game every month at a big team. You're going to develop, and I hope that's what he does, but doing so in Europe. Now, obviously, the track record for Mexican players, talented Mexican players, including wonder kids and young players, going to Europe or staying is not good. It's not good. Too many players stay in Mexico. Not to bash on Mexico and Liga MX, it is a great league, but too many players have been staying. He needs to be the first of a generation and go over there and succeed. Or not the first of a new generation. There's a lot of players going out there, especially in Netherlands right now. He needs to continue that trend and do so over there. Mexican football, cool. Not what the Mexican national team needs, though, too, which I do think we need to consider a little bit. Because this, I don't know, if you haven't watched a highlight tape, and I don't know how you feel about this, Andres, if you have yet to watch a highlight tape on this kid, do so. In my opinion, he is exactly what the midfield needs. He could replace Charlie right now.
Anyone could replace Charlie. He could have replaced
Charlie 2-3 years ago, and he would have done better.
At 17.
At 17, he could have been there.
17. in the
he was a
Pachuca
part
Academy.
of the preliminary squad for the Nations League. He didn't make it to the final squad, but he was in the preliminary squad. I think. Don't quote me on that. He might have been the last one, but he didn't play if he was. But he is a talented midfielder. I really like his style of play. Defends well, keeps the ball well under pressure, and moves the ball forward very well. 3 things that too many of the Mexican national team midfielders don't have in their arsenal, which you'd think as a midfielder you probably should have, especially if you're starting for El. He has that. So I say that, saying that he should go away from Mexico to develop those skills. Otherwise, he's going to stay in Mexico, and that might stunt his growth a lot, which we've seen with many a player at this point. He can't be another one in that list. I have too much hope in Elias Montiel, and I don't say that often, man. Especially with Mexican youngsters, because of the nature of Liga MX and Mexican football. This kid's got it all. He's consistently ranked in the top 50 wonder kids in the world, and like that's, I don't know, the same list that has the likes of Lamine Yamal, Drake, Esteval, all these players. He's in that realm of players, and he needs to go somewhere we can develop him right now instead of staying at Pachuca. But who knows, maybe we don't know when that'll happen. Obviously Pachuca are also in the Club World Cup. He should be involved in that. They played against Real Madrid in the what was it, something, the last World Club World Cup or something. I forgot. They played against Real Madrid fairly recently, and he was quoted in saying, I actually have it pulled up right here. He said, "I was passed by greeting all the managers, and then I approached Florentino Perez, obviously the head honcho over at Real Madrid. I grab his hand, and he stops me and turn around and he tells me, I've talked to several friends of mine, and they have told me that you play well today. I saw it, and I'm very happy. Keep up the good work." High praise from Florentino Perez. He should be over there. There's pictures of him. He was so good. He's pictured next to Vinny and Valverde. Elias Montiel's a fantastic player. Maybe I'm rating him a little bit too highly at this point. I might be
You're
exaggerating.
glazing the brother. Glazing the kid. You're lucky he's overage.
Okay, that's crazy. That's a little bit crazy. Anyways, wow. No, you're not.
Just thought it would be fun.
Look at how red he's getting.
It's the light, bro. I'm not actually this red. It's the light.
Your mind goes there.
No, I'm just saying, like, you literally, for fuck's sakes, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. I didn't mean, I wasn't going glazing him like that.
That's okay. No, that's fine.
You know what? I hope he does well. He does well. The Mexican national team does well. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to be like the more grounded one this time around. You know, so it's a different.
It's a first.
It's a different coat I'm wearing usually. So different jacket. So it's a little different visor, hat. It's a bit different for me. I'm not too sure if I like it or not because then that comes out like that.
Well, a fantastic player. Obviously, let us know what you think about Elias Montiel in the comments down below. Where you think he should be at this summer and beyond, whether that is in Mexico or abroad. Let us know. But like I said, stays in Mexico or goes abroad, he should be involved with the first team from now on. Whether that is a starting role or not, he should at least be involved. Again, you cannot be giving Eric Lira, Luis Romo, and Charlie Rodriguez this many opportunities and not give Elias Montiel or Marcelo Ruiz for that matter. But that's obviously, this isn't about him. They can and deserve opportunities, they should be getting those. So Elias Montiel, this is a big transfer. I mean, the reason we're talking about today is because it's a big deal. He is one of the best wonder kids to be coming out of Mexico in a long time. One of the most highly touted prospects in Mexican history at this point. He's involved in very, very high. And what I don't want to happen, and this is why I want Elias Montiel to make the right decision, because I don't want another Diego Lainez situation where that did not work at all in Europe. And look where he's at now. He's back in Tigres, still young. Yeah, he's still in and around the Mexican national team, but he should have been so much more.
He should have been.
Yeah. The ceiling Diego Lainez had was similar to Elias Montiel. They were like, if you remember Diego Lainez's hype at that time, this is where Elias Montiel was
massive. FIFA was all over it, bro.
He was involved in lists that had some of the best players currently. He was involved in those lists at the time. It just didn't work out because he made the wrong decision when he went abroad. So I just don't want Elias Montiel to do the same thing, which is why I think he should go to a more developmental club like Ajax, because I don't want another Diego Lainez situation. That sucked. I had high hopes on that, bro. I know both of us were signing him in every career mode we had.
Oh yeah, he was always like a free agent basically, or he was like for £5 million. So it was like, yes please, and then he would develop into like some 80 high 80 winger, 80 something rated winger, and it was amazing. And then you could sell him for like a buttload. But yeah, he's still kind of good low key in FIFA, but like that's not real life. So
yeah, and I hope that in 10 years' time, we're not talking about Elias Montiel, how good he is at FIFA, how we're talking about how he's in the Ballon d'Or conversation. But we can move on to the next player on this list. Going a little bit north, we're talking about Johnny Cardoso may be moving to Manchester United pretty soon. Apparently, Manchester United were scouting him recently over the past few weeks. And he's had a lot of links with the Premier League as of late. Obviously, Tottenham supposedly have some clause in his contract or with Betis where they get first dibs. I imagine it's kind of like MLS's discovery rights, if that's your speed. I just don't get it myself. But Johnny Cardoso, maybe United. Before I say anything, Andres, what do you think? But for him, for United, is that the right fit? Is that the move to make now? What do you think?
No, no. Look, okay, as we've mentioned so many times with United or even fucking any team that's doing shit in the Premier League, Real Betis, that's your go-to team.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they're doing pretty well. Rocky start to La
Absolutely.
Liga, but now they're fifth and they're flying. Europa Conference League. Pablo Fornals, he knows how to get it done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But look, you got United. They're in a pickle. They're luckily just like West Ham. They're lucky that the bottom three are the worst historically in Premier League history, because they would be in a relegation scrap right now. And look, I'm sure I can confidently say this, and all United fans will agree with me. They want to rebuild. They want new players. And yes, cool, congratulations, you're in the semis of the Europa League. Cool, congrats. Everything else is shit. So you can't win games. You can't beat easy teams in the Premier League. Yeah, you can come back win against Lyon. Yeah, I mean, cool. Congratulations, at least. Yeah, but whatever, doesn't matter. But look, it's not good for him. He's in a stable club right now. He's in a stable situation. No drama. Not a whole lot of pressure in the sense of like you're having a global stage and everyone's eyes are on you. You're playing the majority of games. Let's be real here. He's playing about like 60% in the starting lineup, so that's pretty good. And I would say Rubs is a relatively big squad, no? Or am I tripping?
Betis, I mean, generally depth-wise, not the best, but yeah,
They got
generally
numbers.
it's a fairly decently sized squad. And Johnny Cardoso is at the top of that list consistently now.
Yeah.
Looks absolutely amazing.
And upon my research for this video, I found an article that said Charlie Davis, U.S. men's national team legend, did say that he'd be foolish to leave said situation from Real Betis. And he's right. It's that simple. You're in a stable condition. You're growing as a player. You're getting better. And that's exactly what you need. And you're in good form, relatively speaking. He's in good form. Yeah. And why would you want to leave a situation? You're comfortable in La Liga. La Liga is a great league. Real Betis is a great team. You're pushing for a Europa League spot. And I don't see it's like, why would you go from a healthy relationship to a toxic relationship? You know what I mean? And then plummet your career. I get it. Fancy trophies, all cool, but deep down inside, she's got a rotten core. And when I'm talking about she, I mean Man United. She's got a rotten core. And it's not, and then you get down there and then it's not fun anymore, and you're miserable, mental health takes a decline, you feel like you're worthless, all this jazz. You never know.
You okay? Are you okay?
No, I'm just saying like,
I'm just making sure.
for my my thing, for my whole thing.
Yeah.
My mind isn't working today, but you know what I mean.
I get it. Yeah.
You know what I mean? For my scenario that I'm creating.
There you go.
So yeah, healthy relationship, toxic relationship. Don't go to the toxic relationship. It may have all the cool bells and whistles at first, then you get to know the person, and you're like, you know what I mean? So just stay where you're happy and things are going well, and things can only get better. So that's my take on it. He's got to
absolutely. I agree, and I have a big opinion on this, just because I'm a Betis fan. They're my La Liga team and one of my favorite teams. I'm a USA fan, and I'm a huge Johnny Cardoso fan. I really like Johnny Cardoso as a player. Now, I do want to preface first, a lot of our fans, a lot of our subscribers and viewers are from the national team scene. And if you're only looking at Johnny Cardoso from that scene, might not look that good. For the USMNT, he's not that good. I think it's going to turn around at some point, but he hasn't had the best performances with the USMNT. But pay attention to him in Real Betis. Pay attention to him in La Liga and European competitions. Johnny Cardoso is it. He is a class defensive midfielder. He is a very unique kind of player, kind of DM, and one that you don't see often enough in world football, I would say. His abilities are just very interesting, right? Technically, very solid. Defensively, very solid. He's very brave and very courageous when it comes to going for the ball and whatnot, and he moves the ball forward very well. Great player. Betis, as a Betis fan, please don't leave. Please don't leave. I need him at Betis. He's very good, and he has been one of the best players of Betis this season in all competitions, without a doubt. He's been very good. So don't go to United, man, because Betis, you have it set like you said. He's 23. There is no reason to step up to the Premier League this soon. And, Betis, you have it going good. You're fighting for a Champions League spot, not even a Europa League spot. You're fighting for the Champions League right now. You are probably going to get European football with Real Betis next year. You stay at least one more year and write it out for a little bit longer and see where you're at after that. Because he's still developing. He's not a top DM. And I'm going to use that to segue into United side of things. He's not a top DM yet. He can be. Without a doubt, he can be. United, at one point in our lives, United used to be the place where if you were signed by United, man, you made it. You are big time. Like, that was, wow. One of the biggest clubs in the world has scouted you and wanted you to play for them. Now it's like it's not the same thing anymore. Whatever you think or not, it's not the same thing anymore. United are sitting in the bottom, 5, 6 of the Premier League. It's just not that anymore. Regardless, obviously that's one season. Maybe United turn around next season. I don't know. I don't think it should be. I don't think Johnny Cardoso should be involved in that though. It doesn't look good. Like you said, I don't want to say it's a sinking ship, but it's a ship that's struggling to stay afloat. Right? Which there's a difference, and I don't think he needs to spend the effort and time and go over there. It just wouldn't make sense to me. And United, I don't think United need Cardoso. If I'm being truthfully honest, yes, they need better midfield. I think, especially once Kobe Mino is very good, but I don't have a lot of faith in their midfield overall.
Yeah,
Bruno Fernandes is good, but whatever. Man United need improvements. Don't get me wrong. Johnny Cardoso is not that, and I don't think he'd go there and slot into the starting lineup right away, which is another reason why he shouldn't go. He's playing at Betis. If you're going to leave, go somewhere where you're playing consistently. Both Tottenham United, I don't think they can promise you that in this moment, so don't go. It's like I said, this doesn't make sense for United. He's too young. You have Ugarte. Well, you might as well just use him instead. What makes Johnny Cardoso that much different than Ugarte? There'd be no reason for me to go for Cardoso other than trying to get him so others don't. Like that. I've done that in career mode and Football Manager. Obviously, you just want to get this player and have him in your depth, but he's not there for you. You don't want him there to benefit the team. It doesn't make sense.
You don't want to have to wait another season to get him. You know what I mean? You might as well.
Yeah, that's all.
You just want him because you can have him, but you don't really need him.
Exactly.
And to be honest, that's kind of Man United's the way they do transfers is like they don't need a player. They just want him because a big name or it's going to bring some traction. And in this case, I wouldn't say a big name, but I mean, they would bring some U.S. viewerships for sure.
100%.
But, it's not a need. There's clearly glaring issues with United that they need to fix. And I don't think a holding midfielder, a defensive midfielder is going to change that.
Yeah, it could if it's the right player, but I don't think Johnny Cardoso is that right player.
Let's just go down the list of the needs, the glaring needs. United, an attacker that isn't.
Yeah, that isn't Hoyland.
Multiple attackers.
Yep.
Better midfield. That's a bit quicker. Center backs that can actually defend. A right back, left back. Most importantly, probably a new goalkeeper. I think everyone at that club is fed up with Onana, and I think Onana is a prime example of why you shouldn't leave somewhere when you're in a happy, good situation because he was killing it. He was arguably
doing fine. Inter Milan,
yeah, up and coming, and in terms of like consistently, you probably maybe continue that form could put him in the top 5 goalkeepers in the world at that moment in time. And then you leave, and then now you're considered one of the worst goalkeepers in United's history. So, I mean, it's just, it's harsh. It's harsh. And I think there's some key examples that you need to look at if you're Johnny Cardoso and be like, okay, is this good for my career? And you're right. He's 23 years old. He can wait a season or two, and he's still going to have attraction from Premier League sides. So, honestly, the ceiling, the sky is the limit. There we go. Boom, not the ceiling.
There you go.
He doesn't have a ceiling. Even as a Mexican national team, I got to respect him. He's a good player. But thankfully only for club, not country. So I'm very, very blessed for that.
Yeah. Thanks, Andres. There's too big of a trend in world football where players move to these big clubs way too soon, obviously. It's one thing going at 17, 18, 19, right? Where you're going into that you wonder kid developmental role and you get brought up into the first team. Johnny Cardoso is not that anymore. He'd be going expecting game time that I don't think would come his way. It doesn't make sense. Players need to start waiting until they're 24, 25, and then they can make the move until they've proven to themselves that they can do it and proven to everybody else. I mean, obviously, self-confidence is great, but it's just not there for me right now. 2-3 years down the line, 100% I could see it. But I think you stay with Betis. You have the love of Beticos right now, of a lot of La Liga viewers in general. You stay, you embrace it for now. You use that to develop well. And Johnny Cardoso has done a really good job of that overall. He's such a different profile of an American player compared to what we have on the team. Just because of his upbringing, he was born in the USA, but he moved to Brazil. He played for Internacional for a long time, so he got that Brazilian football. And now he gets the La Liga football. It's just good. It's good. I don't think he should. I don't want to say stunt his growth, but I don't think you should shelve that for the possibility of a top 8 finish with United, which is it's crazy for me to say that still that United might make top
low
8.
Possibility of a top 8
a
finish,
low possibility in this moment. But of course, like I said, with Montiel, let us know your opinion about Cardoso in the comments down below as a player, where he should go, if he should stay or not. But we're going to use that to move on to the best of both worlds, a Mexican-American player in Richy Ledezma over at PSV in the Netherlands, who apparently is considering a move to Chivas. Apparently they have placed a formal bid for him. They have been scouting for a long time. This has been a long-term thing. But yeah, Richy Ledezma to Liga MX. He's young still. He's like, what, 23, 24?
I mean, to make a move to Liga MX, that's not young. Like, it feels like 20. Yeah. It feels like a couple years ago when he first joined PSV, it would be like, okay, that's not, like, but, now it's
just like, come on. It's just like, come on. Richy Ledezma has dealt with a lot in his career so far. He was one of the up-and-comers for American soccer. He has dealt with a lot of injuries, and he only fairly recently has just been getting his opportunity with PSV after these injuries, and he's been doing a very good job given the opportunity when it's given to him over there. 24 years old, you can stay at PSV. I know PSV want him to stay. He could move elsewhere in Europe to a lot of clubs that would want him. But Liga MX, who are probably going to double his salary, why? Like, why now? In 4, 5, 6 years? Sure. You're 24. Why are you moving over there now? I just don't get it. I don't get it. There's a lot of questions that can be asked about it. Now, one thing, he's not cap tied to the USA. He could switch to Mexico. And in my opinion, that is the biggest reason he wants to move to Chivas, is because I don't know if there's been any communication with the Federation of Mexico, but he might want to move to Chivas. And because there's some other promise or there's some other talks that he might be part of the Mexican setup pretty soon. And that's why he wants to come to Liga MX, right? I feel like there could be some involvement there. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. You can stay abroad and they'll still bring you on pretty soon, in my opinion. Instead of you don't have to move to Liga MX for that reason, because your salary is doubled. And to Chivas, yes, Chivas is like arguably the second biggest, maybe the first. Depends on the popularity and success. I know. As a club, they're obviously one of the top 2 clubs from the Liga MX. But you finish 11th in the Clausura? Like, what? And he still wants to make the move from PSV? I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense.
Johnny Manziel. Just
literally,
it's all about the money, bro. It's all about the money. I respect it. You know, at the same time, you only have a certain amount of playing time, in your lifetime. You only can play to a certain point, and once you're done playing, the money stops coming in. It's not like you get like a retirement or anything. So I understand it. You know what I mean? From a financial perspective. But 24, you're telling me he's making probably good money at PSV. Let's be real. Like, he's making a lot more than the average human in the United States or Mexico for that matter. So, I mean, I understand it. You're like, all right, I get paid more. But it's like, why? Don't give up just yet. Or don't just, leave it. You know what I mean? Maybe the, national team isn't calling for you. But, stick with it. You're slowly getting more playing time. I mean, the fact that, let's be real, when we were doing research for this, we both discovered that these highlight tapes were 4 years ago when he was 20, 19, 18. Right. So this just shows he's not getting a lot of game time. But if you look at transfer market and if you're a PSV fan, if you're watching, he's slowly starting getting involved in the squad. Played in 11 of the Champions League games. So I mean, that's correct, right? That's what it said on transfer market.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's been playing every game for PSV over at least the past few months.
So I don't see the need.
He's getting that involvement. Exactly.
The need. It's the ball's in his court to make the decision, and he's wanted. He's wanted, in Mexico. He's wanted in the Netherlands. It's up to him, and hopefully he doesn't pull, a classic Mexican style transfer situation and go back to Mexico.
Yeah.
Hopefully that doesn't happen, because I always want I know he plays for the U.S. national team, etc., etc. But
He could play.
I
Yeah.
do want more respect in the CONCACAF scene from other countries outside of North America. So, and the only way to do that is have better players. And so, yeah, I hope he stays. But we'll see at the end of the day what does more talking: playing football at a high level or money. And majority of the time, unfortunately, it's money. But once
Yeah.
again, when you're getting offered a buttload of money, heck, it's kind of hard
It's
to
hard to
turn
say
that
no.
down.
It's hard to say no. And you make a good point where, like, yeah, obviously you can only play for so long, meaning you can only make money for so long. You want to take advantage of that because you're a person. You're not just a soccer player. You're a person, and I get that. If he was 28, 29, 30, I don't get that at 24. Like, I understand. I think it would have been a big difference if in the Nations League he was called up to the U.S. men's national team
Yeah,
because that would have been very motivational. And he should have been, like, he 100% should have been. And I think most USA fans agree he should have been a part of the setup. And he wasn't, but that's okay. You're at least on the fringes of the
yeah,
U.S. men's national team. You could very well be in the Gold Cup squad, and I do think he should be. He should be in the Gold Cup squad. But why throw that chance away now? Like, you obviously want to play for the U.S. men's national team. There's a
yeah,
reason you haven't switched to Mexico yet. So why all of a sudden at the first opportunity you're like, fuck this, let's go to Mexico? And it's one thing to say that about switching national teams, but to go, like,
yeah,
to
yeah.
play in Mexico, it doesn't make sense to me for Richy Ledezma's sake. Again, you play in Netherlands, you have another good year at PSV. You're getting more opportunities than your American counterpart Serginho Dest, who has been dealing with injuries, yes, but even when he's healthy, Richard Ledezma has been getting a lot of opportunities over there. Why throw that all away to go to Chivas, man? Like, Chivas, great. Like I said, play there when you're 30, play there when you're 28, but you're 24 going to an 11th place team in the Clausura who doesn't look like they're going to get that much better anytime soon. It doesn't make sense to me at all. I just don't. I don't get it. I don't get it. And again, these are all rumors that we're talking about. No guarantee it's going to happen. But out of the three we've talked about so far,
It's
this
the
one looks
most
to be the
likely.
most certain. Yeah, the most likely, and that bugs me. I just don't get it because he's a class player. He'd be great, to be honest, for the Mexican national team, both at right back and he plays center midfielder sometimes when need be. Both would be amazing. I think he would. It's a different profile. He would do better passing wise than a lot of players at fullback, right back for Mexico, and so it'd be a
I
great pick by
wonder who
Mexico,
you're
and that's where
referring to. Hmm.
if there's one player,
Interesting.
well, I mean,
Hmm.
you know what?
Uh,
To be
I always
honest,
forget his name. I don't know why. It's just like
Richy Ledezma, actually, I take it all back. Go to Chivas, join the Mexican national team. If that means we don't have to talk about Jorge Sanchez being a part of the team ever again, by all means, I'll donate. I'll
don't.
donate I'll donate to the transfer fee. If that's what it takes to a salary. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like maybe like a 1.5% of his salary or donation would
Not
be.
even that. Not even. I'll give him $5 in an In-N-Out burger if he wants, but that's about it. I think
A handshake too, on top of that.
maybe a handshake. Yeah, I don't know if we're friends like that yet, but we'll see. Don't. I mean, he's going to be valued with the Mexican national team, and I think that's a big reason why he wants to be there because they, without a doubt, have been in
Oh
and
yeah, you
around his
play for
DMs for a
Chivas.
minute now.
You play for Chivas. You're 1 foot in the door.
Literally,
Put in.
literally. Like, so I get it. I mean, you're going somewhere where you're super wanted and you're gonna get paid like hell. I get it. I get that instance, but to me that doesn't outweigh the European development and money over there, you know? So I don't
Hmm.
know. I don't know. But obviously, if you have an opinion on Richie Ledesma's situation, let us know in the comments down below. We will read and react to as many as we can because this is obviously still developing. We don't know what's going to happen with this in the near future, but maybe the next episode of this, we will talk about how we were completely right and he chose to stay, or the more likely scenario is we were completely right and he chose to leave. So I don't
Honestly,
see
we're
a
right
scenario
out of
where we
this
don't know.
situation. Let's be real here. We
Yep.
covered both bases, so we see
Yeah.
either.
Well,
We're just good
not my problem anymore.
analysts. We're just good
Yeah.
analysts. What can we say? Better
I
than all the
rest.
Sky Ports guys. I'm just saying. Except like the
Did you?
pros. I'm talking about the non-pros, the guys that never
Yes.
played
Yes.
ball in
Yes.
their life. That's what I'm referring to, not the pros.
Right. Right.
Don't come at
Now,
us, please.
I was gonna say, trust us more. I played freshman ball, so a lot of
Yeah,
FIFA.
he was goaded. He was goaded when he took a touch on that ball. Ooh,
You
you
should have
really thought
felt
he was
how
gonna
warm that
score.
bench was. You should have felt how warm that bench was.
When
That
he
was a
came
damn
on,
good left
he made
bencher.
instant game changer. Instant,
Well,
instant, instant, instant. We were playing with
come
10.
on. You asshole. You are an asshole.
Sorry, I had to. I know
Well,
he's
that was good.
gotten a
No,
lot better. He's gotten a lot better. You should see him pick up.
yeah,
You should see him pick up. He gets that ball. He picks his head up. He finds that pass.
yeah. I lose it
Lockdown
again, but hey,
defender. Lockdown
I have it
defender.
for a couple seconds more. So it depends on
He's a
who I'm playing.
lockdown defender.
I try. I try my best. If you have any opinions on these three players, let us know in the comments down below. Leave a like if you guys want more videos of the CONCACAF Weekly Transfer series that we've been doing here and there. Make sure to subscribe if you are not already subscribed to Get in Football. And hopefully we'll see you guys in future videos. Yeah, take care, guys.